Did you know that the Tupolev Tu-144, often referred to as the Soviet Concorde, was the first commercial supersonic transport aircraft in the world? Quite a mouthful, isn't it? Now imagine a machine that not only held that title, but was also a symbol of national pride and technological prowess. That's the Tu-144 for you. Born amidst the high-stakes competition of the Cold War, this Soviet marvel took to the skies, leaving a sonic boom in its wake. A testament to the relentless pursuit of speed and superiority, the Tu-144 was a physical embodiment of the East's answer to the West's Concorde. This supersonic jet was more than just a mode of transport. It was a statement, a bold declaration of technological prowess in the face of mounting international pressure. A story of ambition, innovation, and rivalry, of human ingenuity pushed to its limits. It's a fascinating story of speed, science, and a dash of espionage. Join us as we unravel the supersonic riddle that is the Tupolev Tu-144. The Tu-144 was born from a desire to outshine the West in the field of aviation. It was the late 60s, and the Cold War was at its peak. The Soviet Union, determined to display its prowess, embarked on a journey to create the world's first supersonic passenger jet. The project was ambitious, to say the least. The Soviet Union was not just aiming to break the sound barrier, but to do so with a passenger aircraft. This was no small task. The major challenges were not only in the realms of technology and design, but also in the spheres of safety and comfort. The initial planning phase was a whirlwind of ideas, innovations, and intense brainstorming sessions. Engineers and scientists pushed the boundaries of existing technology, aiming to create an aircraft that could travel faster than the speed of sound, yet also ensure a smooth and comfortable journey for its passengers. The design of the Tu-144 was a marvel in itself. The delta wing configuration, the canards, and the retractable nose cone were all revolutionary features at the time. But the journey from the drawing board to the skies was not a smooth one. The Tu-144 was a massive project, requiring immense resources, manpower, and time. The development phase was marked by numerous setbacks and challenges. The engine in particular proved to be a significant hurdle. Achieving supersonic speeds required a powerful engine, but designing one that was also reliable and efficient was a monumental task. Despite the obstacles, the Soviet Union pressed on, driven by the dream of supersonic travel. The Tu-144 was not just a symbol of technological advancement, but also a representation of national pride and ambition. The stakes were high, and the pressure was immense. Yet the spirit of innovation and the desire to push the boundaries of what was possible fueled the project. The Tu-144 was a dream, a vision of a future where speed and comfort coexisted, where distance was no longer a barrier, and where the skies were truly the limit. This was the beginning of a journey that would make history in the world of aviation. The Tupolev Tu-144 took its maiden flight on December 31, 1968, 2 months ahead of its Western rival, the Concorde. Imagine the excitement. It's the tail end of 1968, and the world is about to witness the first supersonic passenger jet to take to the skies. The stakes were high. Russia was eager to showcase its technological prowess on the global stage. It was the height of the Cold War, and the Tu-144 was more than just a plane. It was a symbol of national pride and progress. The jet, with its sleek design and powerful engines, roared into the sky, and for a moment, time stood still. The onlookers held their breath, marveling at the sight of this metal bird soaring above the clouds. It was a spectacle that made headlines around the world, a testament to human ingenuity and ambition. The flight was a success, but it wasn't without its challenges. The Tu-144 was a technological marvel, but it was also a beast to control. Pilots had to wrestle with the controls, navigating the unfamiliar territory of supersonic speeds. But they did it. They took the Tu-144 to the skies and back, proving that commercial supersonic flight was more than just a dream. It was a reality. The world took note. International reactions were a mix of admiration and apprehension. The West, while impressed, was also wary. The Tu-144 represented a significant leap forward in aviation technology, and it was a leap made by the Soviet Union. The race was on, and the Tu-144 had just fired the starting gun. Back home, the reaction was one of jubilation. The Soviet Union had done it. They had built the world's first supersonic passenger jet, beating the West to the punch. The Tu-144 was a source of immense national pride, a symbol of Soviet technological prowess and ambition. With its first flight, the Tu-144 had set the stage for a new era in commercial aviation. It was a moment of triumph, a moment that promised a future where the skies were no longer the limit. But as we'll see, the journey was far from over. The Paris Air Show in 1973 was meant to be a grand showcase for the Tu-144, but it ended in disaster. The monumental event turned into a nightmare as the world watched the supersonic marvel plummet to the ground, marking a dark day in aviation history. The Tu-144, Russia's answer to the Concorde, was designed to be a symbol of Soviet technological prowess. But on June 3, 1973, as thousands looked on, the dream of supersonic travel for the masses turned into a tragic spectacle. The aircraft, performing a demonstration flight, went into a steep climb, then a sharp dive before disintegrating mid-air. All 6 crew members on board and 8 people on the ground lost their lives in the catastrophic crash. The cause of the crash was a subject of much controversy. Some speculated that a French Mirage jet, which was reportedly seen near the Tu-144 before the crash, may have been too close, causing the Russian pilot to perform a risky maneuver. However, the official investigation concluded that a structural failure caused by the extreme maneuvers was the culprit. The fallout from this tragedy was immediate and far-reaching. The crash was a brutal wake-up call to the dangers of supersonic flight and raised serious doubts about the Tu-144's safety and reliability. Confidence in the aircraft plummeted, and so did its prospects. The world had seen its potential, but now they'd also witnessed its fatal flaw. In the aftermath, orders for the Tu-144 started to dry up. Even Aeroflot, the Soviet Union's national airline, cut back on its orders. The Paris Air Show disaster had not just claimed lives, it had severely damaged the reputation of an aircraft once hailed as the future of aviation. This tragic event was a turning point for the Tu-144. The dream of supersonic passenger travel was suddenly looking less like a promising future and more like an unattainable fantasy. The world recoiled from the idea of flying faster than the speed of sound, and the Tu-144, once a symbol of progress, became a symbol of failure. The crash was a devastating blow to the Tu-144's reputation and marked the beginning of its downfall. The Paris Air Show of 1973 will forever be remembered as the day when the dream of supersonic travel met a tragic end. Despite the tragedy, the Tu-144 entered commercial service in 1975, but it was a rocky journey. In the world of aviation, the Tupolev Tu-144 was a giant. Its supersonic speed was the stuff of dreams, but dreams, as we know, can sometimes turn into nightmares. The Tu-144 was a marvel of engineering, capable of cruising at twice the speed of sound. But it also had its share of problems that would prove to be its downfall. The aircraft was plagued by operational issues. It was a gas guzzler, consuming vast amounts of fuel, which made it economically challenging to operate. Moreover, the interior of the Tu-144 was notoriously noisy, and the narrow body meant the cabin was cramped, hardly the luxury experience passengers expected from such a futuristic aircraft. The Tu-144 also faced stiff competition from the Concorde, a supersonic passenger jet developed by the British and the French. Though the two aircraft were similar in many ways, the Concorde was seen as the more reliable option, further adding to the Tu-144's woes. Despite these challenges, the Tu-144 soldiered on, but it was clear that the aircraft was struggling. It managed a limited number of flights, barely enough to justify its existence. The final nail in the coffin came in 1978, just 3 years after the Tu-144 entered commercial service. The Soviet government, facing mounting economic challenges and unable to ignore the aircraft's numerous issues, decided to discontinue passenger service. The mighty Tu-144, once the pride of Soviet aviation, was reduced to a freight carrier, a sad end for such a promising aircraft. The dream of supersonic commercial travel was proving to be a difficult one to realize. The Tu-144 had aimed for the stars, but fell short, a giant that struggled and ultimately stumbled. But its story wasn't quite over. As we'll see in the next scene, the Tu-144 would find new life in an unexpected place. In a surprising turn of events, the Tu-144 found a new lease of life in the 1990s, thanks to NASA. As the dust settled on the commercial failure of the Tu-144, an unexpected opportunity arose. The 1990s saw the thawing of Cold War tensions and ushered in a new era of collaboration between the United States and Russia, especially in the realm of space exploration. NASA, always on the lookout for opportunities to push the boundaries of aeronautics, saw potential in the Tu-144. Despite its commercial shortcomings, the Tu-144 was a marvel of engineering. It was the world's first commercial supersonic transport aircraft, a title it still holds to this day. So, what did NASA want with a decommissioned supersonic jet? Well, they were interested in high-speed flight research. And the Tu-144, with its ability to cruise at speeds over twice the speed of sound, was the perfect candidate. The Tu-144 was dusted off and brought out of retirement. NASA teamed up with the Russian Space Agency to use the Tu-144 for a series of high-speed flight tests. The goal was to gather data that could inform the design of future supersonic aircraft. The Tu-144 was fitted with cutting-edge sensors and equipment, and over a span of 5 years, it completed a total of 27 research flights. It was a far cry from its intended role as a passenger jet, but it was a vital contribution to the advancement of aviation technology. The Tu-144's resurrection was a surprise to many, but it was a testament to the aircraft's pioneering design. Although it had failed as a commercial venture, the Tu-144 had found a new purpose. It was now contributing to our understanding of high-speed flight, helping to pave the way for the supersonic jets of the future. The Tu-144's story didn't end with its commercial failure. It found a second life in the realm of scientific research. The Tupolev Tu-144's journey came to an end in 1999, when the last operational aircraft was retired. This marked the end of a significant era in aviation history. The Tu-144, fondly known as the Concordski, had a journey as turbulent as the sonic booms it produced. In the late 90s, the Tu-144's retirement was met with a sense of melancholy. It was the end of a dream that had begun in the 60s, a dream of supersonic passenger travel. But the dream had been marred by technical challenges, tragic accidents, and economic feasibility issues. But let's not forget, the Tu-144 was a symbol of ambition, a testament to the power of human ingenuity. It was the first commercial aircraft to exceed Mach 2, a feat that made it a marvel of its time. The Tu-144's design, its delta wings, and its canard configuration are still admired by aviation enthusiasts and studied by aeronautical engineers. After its retirement, the Tu-144 found a new life in museums and exhibitions. If you're an aviation enthusiast, you might have seen one in the Central Air Force Museum in Monino, Russia, or the Technik Museum Sinsheim in Germany. Each of these machines is a silent witness to an era of supersonic dreams and daring innovation. The Tu-144's story is one of resilience. Despite its struggles, it soldiered on. It even had a brief resurrection when NASA leased one for high-speed aircraft research in the 90s. Its data contributed to the understanding of supersonic flight, thereby leaving an indelible mark in aviation research. The Tupolev Tu-144's legacy is not defined by its failures, but by its daring spirit. It dared to dream, dared to fly, and dared to push the boundaries of what was possible. It sparked a race that led to advancements in aviation technology, some of which we benefit from today. So here's to the Tupolev Tu-144, a supersonic giant that dared to touch the sky. Its story is a reminder that even in the face of adversity, the human spirit, just like the Tu-144, soars. The Tupolev Tu-144, a symbol of ambition and a testament to the power of human ingenuity, had finally closed its supersonic chapter.